What's going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with some breaking Columbus Blue Jackets news for you guys. As earlier this evening, while I was streaming the Cavs and Magic game, the Blue Jackets actually made a trade, as according to Aaron Portzline on Twitter, and I quote, hashtag CBJ have traded Emil Bemstrom to Pittsburgh for Alex Nylander and a conditional 6th-round pick the club has announced. First move under interim GM John Davidson. And as you can tell by the graphic on the right side of the screen, that pick is in 2026. Now, I believe the condition involved with the pick is if Bemstrom scores 6 goals with Pittsburgh, that pick becomes a third in 2026. So we'll see what happens there, if that is indeed the condition. I'm sure if it isn't, someone will indeed fact check me in the comment section. So yeah, I think that's what I saw on Twitter. But whatever. So yeah, this is of course the first trade post Jarmo Kekalainen. Now, for those who hadn't heard by now, you're probably thinking, wait, the Blue Jackets fired Kekalainen? And it wasn't that long ago. But yeah, the Blue Jackets officially fired Jarmo Kekalainen. I know I didn't make a video on it, but I didn't really have much time to do it. I mean, that was a busy time in terms of what I was doing, right? But yeah, Jarmo Kekalainen is officially out, and John Davidson is now the interim GM. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of Blue Jackets fans were kind of worried that ownership would let Jarmo stick around through the trade deadline. And knowing Jarmo, he probably would have made some nutty ass moves to try to make the Blue Jackets go on some sort of run. But yeah, the smart thing to do was to get rid of Jarmo and start the search for a new GM who can hopefully get us to where we want to go, right? Because remember when this team was actually good for a couple years? Yeah, we want to get back to that. And we want to be that way consistently, right? Because as we've seen with this team, they'd be good for like a year or two and then they'd fall off a cliff. Well, we want to be essentially the Penguins, right? We want to be damn near in the playoff race every freaking year. I mean, look at how good this Blue Jackets team is. The one thing that's pissed me off, though, is the fact that we can't keep a damn lead. We get like a 4-goal lead, blown in like a freaking period. Look at last night against the Ducks 4-0. And then just like that, it's tied. Now, of course, the Blue Jackets did win last night, 7-4. But my God, man, how many times have we blown a lead this year? Every time I look, we blow a lead. No lead is safe with this damn team. I mean, heck, going into the season, I was worried about our goaltending and our defense, right? I always thought if our defense and our goaltending actually looks good, this team can be very, very good. Because one thing about this team is they can score a lot. But unfortunately, we can't keep the damn puck out of our own net. So hopefully they fix that this offseason, right? Clearly, Provorov and Severson weren't it. Now, we haven't really seen Severson in a while. But Provorov, not my cup of tea, right? But I do like what we got in terms of prospects. Yeah, our young guys are very, very good, as long as we utilize them correctly. Now, in terms of what other moves I think we're going to make, let me actually take a look at our roster real quick here. All right, so looking at our actual roster right now, in terms of forwards, I don't really see too many forwards that we could possibly trade. I mean, unless you want to get rid of one of the Russians like Yegor Chinnikov, which, my God, if we traded him, I swear the fan base would personally go into John Davidson's office and slap him in the face. Like literally, you'd see a few hundred Blue Jackets fans just all walk into his office, line up single file, and just take turns slapping him one time in the face for doing that. Like, yeah, don't do that. No, like he's very good. He's very, very good. Now, in terms of defensemen, Yeah, there's quite a few that we could get rid of. Provorov, maybe Peak, Bean. I was going to say Bokvist, but I don't think that's going to happen. And then, of course, you have Elvis Merzlikins. But there's a problem there. He has a no trade clause, and he kind of stinks this year. So, yeah. Not to mention, he's got a pretty hefty contract. He won't be a UFA until 2027, 28. So, he's still got quite a few years, which would make him attractive to some teams, but yeah, he's not very good. But yeah, maybe getting him in a new situation would reinvigorate Elvis. Because I'll tell you what, when he's at his best, he is very, very good. But he just really hasn't been the same since his friend died a couple years ago on 4th of July. Yeah. Matisse. Matisse Kivlenix. Yep. He actually won a game with the Blue Jackets in net against the Rangers. But yeah, we'll see what other moves are made. I know one move I really want to see made is the Blue Jackets sending Pascal Vincent to the unemployment line, but I don't think that's going to happen. You look at the stats for these two players, starting off with Bemstrom. In the AHL, he's played 8 games, 10 goals, 4 assists for a total of 14 points. And then with the Blue Jackets, 32 games, 5 goals, 6 assists for a total of 11 points. And then you look at Nylander, and it's simple. He has done nothing in the NHL. 5 games, 0 goals, assists, and points. And then in the AHL with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, 43 games, 17 goals, 15 assists, and 32 points. Oh, and did I mention the Monsters are first in the North Division in the AHL? So he's going from the 3rd place Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins in the Atlantic to the 1st place Cleveland Monsters. So, yeah, another weapon for the Monsters. Okay, cool. At worst, he's a weapon for the Monsters. At best, he could be a piece for the Blue Jackets for the future. By the way, I believe he's an RFA, just like Bemstrom. So there's that. But not really much else to talk about regarding this move, right? I mean, you see the graphic on the right side of the screen. You know, Alex Nylander in a conditional 6th that can turn to a 3rd if Bemstrom scores, I believe, 6 goals with the Penguins, which could happen. Knowing him, he's probably going to score 10. Because that's usually what happens, right? They get out of Columbus and they go off, right? But yeah, Pens fans just know that Bemstrom, while he hasn't been doing much in terms of goal scoring, he's a solid player. Yeah, I think you guys will enjoy him. And I just have a feeling he is going to absolutely torture us the rest of the year. Because I believe we play the Penguins a few more times this season. So we'll see what else happens. If any more trades go down, you already know I'll be right here making trade videos like I've always done. I know I haven't talked about the Blue Jackets much, but let's be honest here. They're not very good. I'm not going to stream this team because they're not really worth it compared to the Cavs, the Browns, and even the Guardians. Right? I mean, the Cavs are showtime right now. Even though they lost tonight, they're still damn good. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this trade in the comments. And what other moves do you think John Davidson's going to make? So let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell. And also become a member for exclusive perks like cool emotes and all that other wonderful stuff as the NHL trade deadline is quickly approaching. And I feel like the Blue Jackets aren't done making moves. They're probably not going to be adding a whole lot of players. They're probably going to be mainly going for assets like draft picks and stuff. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, with that being said, I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go Blue Jackets. Yeah. And I'm out. See you guys later. Bye-bye. Yeah.